Let's see how we can use payroll in ERPLY Books. As you can see from the company name, it's the new payroll, meaning that it's replacing the old version. If you have if you are still using the old version of ERPLY Books, you also have to add global attributes. What they mean, under the global parameters, you can see that for this account I have added payroll fields. I will add this value description under this video, so you can just copy and paste it. And also I've added that I would like to use the new payroll version. For the new companies, all the rules will be added by default, so you don't have to worry about it. If I have added these two rules, then under the settings I have payroll rules. Under the reports I have payroll report, and under accounting I have add payroll. The purpose of all three is as follows. Add payroll, if you want to do one by one, very simple, one by one. If you want to do see how much have you paid out or whatever, any kind of report you need for payroll, you go to payroll report. Also, payroll report is an operational module, meaning that it is giving all the different options to manage the payroll. So if you want to add payroll payrun to all the employees together, not one by one, then here is the actual button for this. And under the settings you can change all the settings that you need. One setting is not here, which is the list of employees, because the list of employees is under the contacts. Go to purchases and contacts, and if you have an active employee, then you need to set two things over here. It has to be set as supplier, and it has to be with a type of employee. Then ERPLY Books knows that this is employee, and I can show this also in different parts of payroll and so on. Now, under the settings, the rules are as follows. Payroll rules are different contracts that you have, all the active employees and their settings. Let's add two of them, as I had over there, Anna Smith and John Smith. Here you can add now default rules. For example, I will pay weekly, and hourly wage for Anna is 40 and for John it's 35. And let's say that Anna works 30 hours a week and John Smith by default works 38 hours a week. When I scroll to the right, I can see that I can add also default payroll type. So what are the payroll types? Payroll types are different types of how you pay salaries. For example, you have overtime, you have weekend hours, and you need to separate them. For example, they have different rates. And also if that, for example, I added that Anna is working 30 hours a week, but let's say that if she works more than 30 hours, we will add some kind of other fee for her. So you can add another line here, which is Anna's overtime and I'll say that the base price for this is $45. Now, payroll accounts is if you want to customize anything. For example, you would like to say that Anna's payroll expense will go to this account. You can also choose tax, meaning that when you want to separate that income tax expense should go to separate account for Anna, then you can also select tax over here. But this is only for exceptions, because the main accounts come from payroll taxes. Payroll taxes are a list of taxes that you have. You can see that I have added 2, because for Australian needs the default is 2. If you need to pay also hex tax for 1 or 2 employees, then just add another row here and add the correct rules, and and that's it. If there is anything else coming up, then probably you can add it over here also. The income tax has a zero sum over here. This means that the logic behind how to calculate income tax is built into ERPLY Books, and you don't have to worry about it. Now, let's say that I would like to calculate pay runs for August. So I'll go to Payroll Report, I'll click Add Pay Run. I said August, so let's say I take 1st to 6th. The transaction is when the accounting booking will be done, so I would like this to be 6th of August, for example. Payment date is statistical figure in the ERPLY Books, so if you don't need it, you don't need to change it. So click Search. Now you can see that it prepares me the pay run. How it does it? Under the payroll rules, I added 2 rows, that's why here are 2 rows. Now, I can change anything I need here. For example, I will say that I would like to say that John worked only 35 hours that week, so I will say 35, and you can see it recalculated the gross amount over here. But it didn't recalculate net salary. The idea behind ERPLY Books payroll is that you might want to also add pay run for 100 employees. So if we would make the changes, then it would the application would be a little bit slow. So make all the changes here and then click Calculate Taxes. If I need to add another row, meaning that John actually worked no, let's say Anna has this special pay tab. Let's say Anna worked 30 hours here and 8 hours with this Anna's overtime. But let's see what happens if I add here 8. It changes this quantity over here because we said before that Anna is working only 30 hours a week, so we have to it has to update that amount over there. But if it's still 30 hours over here, so I can just change it back here. Now you can see it changed this back. So what to do in order to prevent this this changing from ERPLY Books? You have to add a 3rd row for Anna. Then it doesn't change it anymore. When I add 8 over here, it is telling me that it didn't recalculate the hours. So if you want, you can now do anything. So I will add here 0 because this line was just what I needed in order to these two to stay on foot. Okay. Everything else is done here automatically, so we don't have to worry about that. So I'll just click Calculate Taxes and let's save it. After you have saved the pay run, what you can do is, there you can see there are 3 options. You can print out the pay slips, you can send them by email, and you can create payment file. What is behind all of them? With PDF, it downloads the PDF, do whatever you want with them. With email, it will send one by one to their emails. As you can see, I haven't added email to none of those 2. So that's why these will be downloaded as a PDF still. But if I would have, it would be in this list. I add the subject, and ERPLY Books will send the pay slips one by one. Now, you can see that I lost the window. How to get this window back? So let's just make any kind of change over here in order to save it again. And once it's saved again, I can continue, meaning that I can now get this window back. Create payment file. You can make an ABA file and then upload it to the bank if you don't want to manually pay in the bank, or if you're not paying by check or by cash. Then when you click Create Payment File, it is redirecting. Of course, I am missing my own bank information, I add some dummy data over here. Then now it redirected me to the payment file module, and I can, as you can see, I don't have information for John and Anna, so the bank information is missing, so I cannot print it out at the moment. But the logic here is that, as you can see, you at least can do this. Though here is 3 rows for Anna, it doesn't actually matter because it is putting them together when in the ABA file. Okay, now we have done payroll. Let's see the transactions for this. So let's go to transactions. Now here you can see there are 3 transactions. Let's take this one. It added this payroll liability account over here and this payroll expense account over here because under the payroll taxes these accounts have been selected. So that's the logic behind it. Now if I come here to the payroll report and search, then you can see that it is giving me quite enough information what I have done with the employees. How much is the total hours for all of the times from 2010 2002, meaning that it's giving me all the hours here. How much is the accrued leave total, taken vacation, period hours, period hours is this time interval over here, and then the available vacation time. But also here you can see the different pay types and how much have you actually calculated over here. I didn't look into payslip, so why not try to do this from here. If you double click here, then you can print out the payslip. You can print them all together. I selected them using Shift and Control keys. When I click print, it downloads the file and I can look into this. You can see here it says 38 hours. It is telling me that how much is year-to-date figures, what is the total earnings, and so on. You can see there is no contact information for Anna Smith because under the contacts there is also no contact information. So fill it out here. There is also no contact information for me, meaning that the company name, because it's also missing in organization data. There is no legal address over here. And also no organization code. You can add ABN number over here. Now, if you want to change anything, what you did in the pay run, then go to payroll report, search for this specific time, and click edit. And now you can start editing the values over here. If you go here in the payroll report, then let's little bit describe the buttons over here. Employees will give you the list of employees and you can manage them. Basically you can go also to contacts, take a type as employee and search like this. Payroll rules is the different rules already here. Types again, same as here. Add pay run we also already looked into. Assign vacations is when you are doing a pay run and saying that one employee was on vacation in annual leave, then it asks you after the pay run that would you like to assign leave rows. But what it actually does is it adds a line over here that employee, this employee, was in annual leave and how many hours. But what is the type over here? The type over here is, you can see different types. And one you have to remember is that also here is accrued leave. So when you start with ERPLY Books and you would like to say that Anna had 50 hours still left as accrued leave, then I will save it, and in the payroll report you can see it's 50 hours over here. And you can see also that available vacations, that's why 52 hours. Now, show payment summary will give you the employee payment summary view in ERPLY Books. To download the history of pay runs, you can do it by summary or in detail. It is giving you an Excel for this. For Australia, you can, I'm sorry I cannot pronounce this correctly, MP2 file once a year, and then upload it to your to ATO. To print out payment summaries, that's what you have to print out once a year to employees. This is where it prints out the PDFs. And already we described about the edit button. Shortly all about ERPLY Books payroll. I hope it was valuable, and have a good day.